Alrighty, welcome to the draft viewer. We've got Tom Martell here, and we're going to take a look at your draft. You're currently 2-0 with this
I am
deck.
currently 2-0, pretty excited.
Yeah.
Better than my 0-5 start of the first PT last season. So
Certainly. All right, so let's take a look
Yeah,
here.
jump in.
So you open this pack. Nothing really jumps out unless you really think Metallurgic Summonings is a great build around.
Yeah, I want to open a Mythic, not that Mythic. Here I think there's really two reasonable choices. Glint Sleeve Artisan's one of the better white commons. Snare Thopter is just a very good colorless card. I want to stay open, so I'm going to take the Snare Thopter here and kind of just stay flexible.
Yeah, and Snare Thopter was the pick here since, again, it keeps you as open as possible, and it's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah, pretty powerful card.
Your second pick also had some pretty good cards in it.
Yep. So here, the best cards are both white, right? So it's going to clearly be Weaver Angel and Revoke Privileges are both, I think, a cut ahead of Malfunction. Shield Guard's fine. I take the Angel, I think, just a more powerful card, and I want to get a big flyer.
Yeah, Whisper of Angel, a great card to start out your draft with here.
You can build around it, find come to play abilities. There's a lot of them in this format, so excited there.
So pick three, there's a removal spell that jumps out. You got Die Young, and past that, there's also a Malfunction. And blue and black both can pair with white reasonably well.
I agree. It's like the black-white deck tends to want to go wide most of the time, which, Die Young's a fine card. I'm not super thrilled with it, but I take it here because I think it's significantly better than Malfunction. And I'm pretty flexible here still on kind of what colors I can go.
Yeah, Die Young, a fine card to pick up here.
Yeah.
So this pack this is one of the big turning points in the draft.
Absolutely.
So you've got a white card and you've got a black card and an artifact.
Yep.
You have Depala Pilot Exemplar, which is a very strong card.
Yep.
But that's not actually what you go with.
Right. So clearly Depala is great. I don't like red in this format very much. Like I want to try to stay away from red decks. While Depala is a signal that red is open, the Angel's not going to be great in a red-white deck. It'll be okay.
Right.
I'll have to throw my Die Young. Whereas if I take a Tune, I get to be in green, which is personally my preference. And it lets me play both Die Young and Angel potentially. I think the green decks are great. So I go ahead and actually take a Tune here.
Yeah, and there's also a Subtle Strike, which was a
fine card to go with the Die Young,
well.
but I think a Tune is just such a better card that I'm taking a Tune here.
All right, let's take a look at the next pack here. And things get narrowed down a little more here, and you're kind of sticking to the multicolor theme with this pack.
Right, so I definitely get punished here a little bit, right? If I take in the red-white card, I can take the red-white duel. I take it anyway. I'm thinking maybe I'll end up being like a 4-color green deck, 5-color green deck. There's a lot of good red splash cards, and I have an Attune. So I go ahead and take the land. None of the other cards are really compelling or very powerful, so I think it's an easy, I don't give up a lot there.
Right. And then pick 6 here. Again, we're getting towards the end of the pack.
Yep.
You end up with a High Spire Artisan.
I take Artisan. I think I'm trying to be green. It's a defensive card. I want to be a 4-color green deck. Also, I've passed no good green cards at all, so it's very hard for Marcio to have left to be green. I think green's good enough that getting one pack of green to myself is great. So I take the Artisan.
Yeah.
And here, there's no real choices here. I take the Live Fast over the Self-Assembler. Just, I want some card draw, and again, if I'm going to be a kind of a 4-color control deck, it's going to be a good effect.
All right, and this is what you end up with after pack 1.
Yep.
So you've got the one white card, but you didn't really see much white past that.
Right. I saw the rare, but nothing after that.
Right.
So I'm not regretting it too much at this point.
And then now that you passed Depala to your left, there's a decent chance Marcio might have taken it,
Yeah.
and you had a bunch of green and black cards with kind of outs to splash another color with Inspiring Vantage and a Tune with either.
Yep. Yeah, I assume Marcio's white because I also passed in the Artisan as the best card in that previous pack. So I assume he's heavily white.
And I believe he did end up taking both those cards. All right, let's take a look at pack 2 here. Looks familiar to pack 1.
Yeah, again, not the best pack in the world here. There are some good green cards this time. So there's the Seed Sculptor and the Tiger. I think about both those for a while. I end up taking the Snare Thopter because I'm not sure I'm going to be green. Attune's my only green card besides the 1/4, so I want to stay flexible still.
Yeah, and Snare Thopter is just a very powerful card.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Take a look at the next pack here. So things start to get narrowed down a little bit more here since you've got some good green-black options. You've got Pima Outrider, Eitherborn Marauder, and Armorcraft Judge, which is just overperformed.
Right. So I decided to narrow it down between the green cards very quickly. They're both green 4-drops. They're kind of interchangeable, or they're kind of comparable. I take Judge because I want to try to exploit the counter theme, and I already have an Artisan.
Yeah. Next up, you've got actually a really good sign because Arborback Stomper and Ovia Pashri, which are both just incredible cards.
Right. I thought it'd be really hard for someone to my left to be green. It turns out that looks like that's the case. Here I ended up taking Ovia over Stomper. I think they're close, but I think I'm going to be able to control the game and stall it out. And I think Ovia will win me a long game, and so I decided to go for that more powerful late game effect.
Makes sense. Next pack here is not quite as exciting.
No, it's medium. I mean, by continuing that theme of wanting to stall the game out and go late, I go ahead and just take a Skygate. It buys you time. It's a good defensive early play. I think it's a fine pickup here.
It also counts as an artifact because there's a lot of black cards that care about that.
Yep. Here again, 2 good green choices, actually 3 with the defense as well. I end up taking the Rhino. I think 3 drops are rarer, harder to find, and just a more powerful card. And I already have a little bit of energy I can maybe exploit with that, so I take it over the Seed Sculptor.
Yeah, and worth noting, you haven't actually taken a black card yet. So,
Right.
So
Since the 2 in pack 1.
Yeah, you're very open to not playing black.
Oh,
but
easily.
Thriving Rhino, great pick here.
Yep.
And then here, green is just wide open.
Yeah, so slam that Outrider, super excited about that. It's kind of exactly what I was hoping would happen when I took that Attune in pack 2, getting paid off there, which is obviously nice.
Yeah, so you take the Pima Outrider, you're in a position where even if green gets cut pack 1, which there's a good chance it is, based on what you're looking at, you'll get enough green cards in pack 2 that you can kind of play whatever you need.
Right. And the green's deep enough that you'll often get 2 in a pack, so if I'm getting the second best green card, I'm pretty happy.
Right.
All these green cards passed another green card to my person to my right, so he's still getting fed here. Hopefully that happens to me in pack 3.
Getting the leftover Kujar Seed Sculptors, you're actually still in a fine
Super
place.
thrilled. Yeah.
Take a look at the next pack here.
This one is weaker. I'm obviously not excited about any of these cards. I think I just take the Scavenger to again continue that late game theme. Could take the Courage here for a trick, but there's been a couple in the draft already, so I think I'm going to table one.
Also, the black tricks tend to be a lot better than the green tricks, especially in the more controlling decks.
Exactly.
So Scavenger, a fine pickup here.
Here, I just take the Find, again, kind of this late game theme. You want to board it in a grindy matchup. I have 2 Copter, whatever that guy's called, so that's a good card to get back with Find, because it will actually trade. So I take that here.
Not a fan of the Metalwork Colossus?
Not in the deck where I have no. So your Tiger Seed Sculptor is insane, right?
Yeah, this is first of all, it's a great sign for you that pick 9. There's 2 fairly good green commons, and second of all, it's pretty hard to decide between the 2.
Agreed. So my curve is pretty 4 heavy already, which happens a lot, and I have the Judge, which being counters count, and I have 2 flyers. So I take the +1/+1 guy.
All right, so let's move on to pack 3 here. Pack 2 is great for you.
Yep.
And you open a pretty good card for pack 3.
Right. So Limited Competition and the Edge Crafters are both very good in my deck. I decided to take the Competition. I have a decent number of ways to make servos. I have that 1 green rare. I have 2 O4 walls. I have a lot of things to sack.
Yeah. And then next pick is one of the least exciting picks of the draft.
Yeah. So it's Architect versus Kyle Prowler here.
Yeah.
I did take the Boom Boom because I want a fatty. Architect's underwhelming, I think, but a fine card.
You also didn't have very many ways to generate energy.
Very few. Yep.
Kyle Prowler, unexciting second pick, and then third pick, there's a Chandra and a Harness Lightning.
Yeah. And
a couple like middling green and black cards.
Obviously, would love to be able to play Chandra, but can't, so I just take the Harness Lightning. Perfect card for me. I'm set up to splash really easily, so go ahead and just take that.
Yeah, and if Chandra being double color, of course, is why you're not taking a Chandra there.
And then here I go ahead and take Prophetic Prism to kind of continue that splash, make sure I can really cement it, smooth out my early draws, and pick up a Skygate. I want to take the Glimmer here, but I don't want to splash 2 colors in this deck, I decide, so I take the Skygate.
And then the rest of the pack doesn't round out to all that much.
No, really not.
Again, you were getting kind of cut in pack 3, but your pack 2 deck is still very, very good.
Right, and so I think it makes for a good all-in deck. Also, I get to pick up cards like Skygate late that really synergize what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So your deck ended up pretty good.
Yeah.
You're 2-0 so far.
About to play PV 3-0.
Yep,
so
and you're feeling pretty good.